Man, it's so hard to win in this league, bro. To win with guys like that. MJ wasn't winning with Matthew Dellavedova.
He was winning with Luke Longley.
His pack, Jordan ain't.
All right, welcome back to the show, everyone. Hope you all are having a good day so far. So I wanted to check out this video that popped up on my feed from Uncut. Uncut Hoops, in case you guys don't know, one of my favorite YouTubers around. And this video is titled Clutch Sport Clown Lies for LeBron. And this looks like I see Draymond Green hopping on a live stream with Kai, who is possibly the biggest streamer in the world. I'm not sure at this point. Friends with iShowSpeed and all this. It's kind of a thing I just recently started understanding, like navigating this world of like these top tier streamers. But I do notice like Snoop Dogg is hitting up Kai for like hookups with like robots and stuff, and it's wild to see like how high a streamer can go, basically just with the Twitch platform. Anyways, I guess this is gonna be about Draymond Green, and yeah, we all know he's a clutch shill, and he's gonna say all kinds of atrocious stuff. So anyways, without further ado, let's see what kind of stupid stuff he's gonna say, huh? Let's see. I'm gonna link the original video down below in a description, like I always do, guys. So if you want to check out Uncut's channel, the link is right there. Also, you'll see a list of channel members, and I got a couple of new channel members to shout out here. We got Marcus L, Boston author, Unfazed Publishing, MVF, Most Valuable Fighter, and then Pedro M Font. Guys, welcome on board. Thank you so much for the support. Like, it really means a lot to all the members. I really appreciate you guys. Thank you very much for helping me continue on what I want to do here on this platform. So anyways, you guys, like the video if you could. It helps out a ton. Hit that hype button. That helps out a ton. I think it's fun. Anyways, let's see what this video is all about.
LeBron or Jordan, and why?
He won 2 games in the NBA Finals with Deli.
Like Matthew Dellavedova.
Like, he can win with like guys like that. Man, it's so hard to win in this league, bro. To win with guys like that. MJ wasn't winning with Matthew Dellavedova.
He was winning with Luke Longley.
His pack, Jordan ain't had them type of teammates. Jordan had made teammates.
What's a made teammate?
When you look at the NBA in the 2020s, one of the worst things to ever happen to the modern day player and the modern day fan.
Wait, I just gotta digest my thoughts real quick. What does he mean by made teammate? Like, what does that even mean? You know, like they were homegrown. Draymond should be able to relate to that because his team did the same thing outside of Kevin Durant. It's a homegrown team. Made teammates means like you're gonna go team up with a Dwayne Wade. That's a made teammate. He's already a Finals MVP. Okay.
Is the birth of the Player Podcast. Case in point with someone like Draymond Green, a glorified LeBron James stooge.
People threw the towel in on J.R. Smith. Like, as talented as J.R. was, people threw the towel in on him like, yo, he can't play winning basketball, he can't do this, he can't do that. When people throw the towel in on you in this league, it's over. And people threw the towel in on J.R. and Bron's like, nah, this man can shoot and he can defend. I can do something with that. I don't think MJ had many guys that went through that.
Dennis Rodman, right off the top of my head. Detroit didn't want him anymore. That's where he won his championships. San Antonio didn't want him anymore because he was causing too much trouble with Pop. Jordan took him in. They won 3 championships. How many did LeBron and JR win?
Now, stopping Draymond right there very quickly, his overall point about LeBron James elevating J.R. Smith, kind of saving his rep, I actually agree with that. Now, where Draymond loses me is in talking about Michael Jordan and his effect on his teammates. As according to Draymond, Michael Jordan, his career, never elevated guys, made them better, made their rep better, like J.R. Smith. If you know Jordan's career, that's a ludicrous statement. Let's stay in New York for 1 second. Look at Bill Cartwright, 1980. This guy coming to the NBA was a legit guy. 1980 draft, the 3rd overall pick, and as a rookie, he was an all-star.
Yeah, let's look at him in 91.
Bill Cartwright at that moment was a franchise cornerstone and a future player in the 1980s. But of course, Bill's career, numerous injuries, knees, ankles, all the above.
Yeah, I got an old basketball card from somewhere in the 80s when Bill Cartwright was still with the Knicks, to the point where they were still calling them the Knickerbockers on the basketball card. 88 Bill, 11.
Bill Cartwright by 88 was a shell of himself and a backup center, only playing 20 minutes per game. And by that point, Bill Cartwright had the infamous nickname of Medical Bill.
Very humorous indeed.
It is.
When you mention someone like Bill Cartwright, you don't think of his days in New York and being a one-time All-Star. What you think of is the starting center for 3 championship teams, 91 to 93. And what does that do to someone like Michael Jordan, taking a cast-off and unwanted player and elevating him to a guy who's remembered 30 years later?
Yep.
Look at the Bulls' second three-peat, a guy like Luke Longley.
Yes, sir.
Longley with the Bulls, a full-time starter and a 3-time champion. Now, prior to Chicago, he was far from that, and a semi-bust in Minnesota.
Show his numbers after Chicago. After Chicago, he went to my Phoenix Suns. It was a bust.
As of course, 91, a top 10 pick. 3 years really did nothing, was kind of a bust, a disappointment, and for the Bulls, a cast-off they took in. Now, someone like Luke Longley 25 years later gets documentaries made about his career and his time with the Bulls. If you didn't have Jordan in that Bulls infrastructure, someone like Luke Longley would be a name on paper. But due to the Bulls and Jordan, Luke Longley gets remembered all this time later.
I mean, I hate to say it, but I think if he didn't join, well, if he wasn't with Jordan, I don't think his career would have been very long at all, you guys, because he just wasn't producing.
And staying with his second three-peat, look at someone like Bill Whittington. Bill Whittington, much like Luke Longley, was a first-round pick, 16th overall. Longley in Sacramento and Dallas really did nothing, and for 2 years was playing overseas. Bill Whittington, after being out of the NBA, was a key piece of the Bulls 3 consecutive seasons as a backup center. And fast forward all this time later, how he's remembered isn't as journeyman Bill Whittington, but NBA champion Bill Whittington.
3-time NBA
I know. I mean, let's think about all the centers that Jordan won championships with. I mean, bench included, basically. Like let's go first and second options. First repeat, Bill Whittington. I'm sorry, Bill Cartwright and Will Perdue. That's the backup. Then the second championship, we got Luke Longley and Bill Whittington. Like, I don't want to hear anything about about what LeBron had. Like, the thing is like this would never be a thing. Like, this feels insulting. It feels insulting to Will, Bill, and who the hell, Luke, because like this conversation shouldn't even need to happen. But Draymond had to do it. Oh, Jordan didn't have to play with guys like that. He elevated. Yeah, he did, man. But we're not dicks about it. So we're not like, oh man, Jordan played with a bunch of trash. Like, we don't want to say that because they're champions still. You know, they deserve their respect. But with the LeBron camp, it's a whole different game. You just disrespect everyone except for LeBron. Like, you even disrespect Dwayne Wade and Chris Bosh and Kevin Love. You know, you discredit Kyrie and Anthony Davis. Like, it's disgusting. Give everyone their credit.
Champion Bill Whittington joining us now on SportsCenter.
Big Bill, Mountain Man.
I'm joined by St. John's basketball legend and 3-time NBA champion Bill Whittington.
Now, one more guy I
he
want to
loves
look
MJ.
at is John Paxson. John Paxson, much like Longley, Whittington, and Bill Cartwright, was a first-round pick. But looking at Paxson with the Spurs, for 2 straight years, really made no impact and was a bitter disappointment. Now Paxson for the Bulls, he improved, got better, and by 91 was a key piece for the championship teams. And of course that season, the fourth quarter Game 5, had a moment in the NBA Finals. John Paxson, much like J.R. Smith, was taken as a cast-off and made a championship player by the best player on the team. And here's one guy you have to mention, of course, Dennis Rodman. When you think of Rodman...
With Paxson, real quick, before we move on, I'll just say Pax and JR, similar roles, except for JR played a higher role. He did more in that, but Pax was solid. Pax was solid, not selfish. He would just wait for his opportunity and try to knock down the three, you know. But JR, basically, that was his role with Cleveland as well.
And here's one guy you have to mention, of course, Dennis Rodman.
Yeah, do it. Tell the
When you
truth.
think of Rodman nowadays, you think of the hair, the defense, getting boards, and winning championships. In 2025, that's what we think of Dennis Rodman and his career. Now look at 95, forging the Bulls, a very different story.
I know why he did that. I know why Popovich did that to me. He think I'm gonna ruin this team. I still believe that to this day. He did that because he thought I was gonna win that team.
So your theory is that
I can't believe he said it. He admitted it. He's been able to reflect on it, because that is exactly what it is. And look, a couple years later started this giant dynasty, or whatever you want to call it. You know, a 12-year run, really like a 14-year run of success in San Antonio. But they couldn't have somebody like Dennis there, not in that system. You know, everyone needed to show up to practice. Everyone needed to be accounted for. And Dennis just wasn't that dude. So Pop couldn't handle him anymore.
Popovich traded you to ruin the Bulls.
Ruin the Bulls.
Chicago Bulls are waiting for.
Wow, did you hear that?
I still believe that to this day. He did that because he thought I was gonna win that team.
So your theory is that Popovich traded you to ruin the Bulls.
Ruin the Bulls.
Chicago Bulls are waiting.
Now that is interesting. I never thought about that. I'd never heard that before. Send him to the biggest threat, you know, Michael Jordan's team, to see if he can destroy the team from the inside. But Dennis ended up delivering. Huh. What do you guys think about that? That just like blew up a section of my brain there.
Waiting for Dennis to come off of IR. On the other hand, the Spurs are glad that he's gone. They said they took away from the focus of the team and that they would be a better team without him.
The point right here is pretty simple.
I mean, let's just be fair, because we got hindsight now. Both teams ended up great. It worked out for both teams.
Someone like Draymond Green, he's just talking to talk.
Oh, this guy.
For a lot of these so-called podcasting players, learning NBA history, studying NBA history, they couldn't be bothered to do that. But still at the same time, their opinions are very strong, set in stone, and they're vocal, making their opinions be heard. Now, one thing I must point out with Draymond Green, he's an absolute hypocrite and a blithering idiot. As like we saw in that first clip, he said Jordan for the Bulls, didn't elevate teammates, save their rep. Fast forward 2 minutes, Draymond Green debunks his own point, bringing up Steve Kerr.
Steve, if you look at Steve, even Steve's journey in the league, for someone that contributed to a championship on the Bulls,
Yes.
his path was probably the worst of anyone. Like, that's just facts.
Fair enough.
Had to figure it out. Like,
That's real.
Cut from a team, had to figure it out. His path of guys that contributed to the Bulls championships, his path was worse than anyone.
In other words, Jordan, did you just contradict yourself then? You're basically giving an example. Yes, Steve didn't really have a home. He was bouncing around. He was on my Suns for a little bit, not playing at all, So he ends up on the Bulls team with Michael Jordan, and guess what? He finds a home for years and wins championships and has a successful role on a winning team. So in other words, Draymond, yes, Michael Jordan did elevate his teammates. You dumbass. What the hell, man? Like, dude, that's your coach too. You should know this.
Steve's path was dog shit. He just had to figure it out. Like, last cut on the team, make the team type shit. His path, Jordan ain't had them type of teammates.
What? Jordan didn't have that type of. That is Jordan's teammate.
Of guys that contributed to the Bulls championships. His path was worse than anyone.
You went full retard.
I love this movie.
Never go full retard.
Oh man,
Like I said,
I love hearing like the cast talk about like if they tried to release this movie now, Tropic Thunder, and they're like, I don't think we can get away with this now, man. Like, people gonna take this the really wrong way.
These podcasters, they just talk to talk. Let them talk long enough, let them say enough stuff. Eventually, they'll defeat their own argument.
Absolutely.
Draymond Green right here undercut his entire point from 2 minutes prior.
Yep.
That's actually impressive.
It is.
Last cut on the team.
Look how confident he is in it. That's what's impressing me. Look how confident he is. And also here, look at Look at the first comment here. If I had to pick between a league full of plumbers and firefighters versus a league full of podcasters and influencers, I'd pick the plumbers and firefighters every time. And in this, now I'm starting to understand this comment because I read the first 2 comments before I did this reaction. Draymond is pathetically the dumbest person in the room and the most confident. That's a dangerous combination. Yes, I must have piggybacked off of that. He is so confident. Look at this.
Point from 2 minutes prior. That's actually impressive.
Last cut on the team, make the team type shit. Jordan ain't had them type of teammates. Jordan had made teammates.
What do you mean by that?
So stopping that right there very quickly, Draymond Green says Michael Jordan's teammates, quote, were made teammates. What does that mean? I don't really know.
Yeah.
But what I think it means, Draymond Green, is saying Jordan's teammates from day one were made teammates ready to win. If you know Jordan's career, that's so far from the truth.
Mm-hmm.
Pippen in '88 was a bench player and a role player for the Bulls. He wasn't a quote-unquote made teammate. Horace Grant, the exact same thing, and in '88, actually better than Pippen.
Yeah, both drafted to the Bulls. Like, they weren't stars. They weren't all stars, and then they signed on with the Bulls. They were drafted by the Bulls. They started their career there. They were babies.
And like we saw earlier, John Paxson, Bill Cartwright, well, they were decent players. They weren't made players and championship players from day one. For this Bulls team, top to bottom, it took numerous playoff struggles, failures, off-season training, building a system, chemistry, to eventually 91, they're a championship team, ready to win, with quote-unquote made teammates.
Jordan had made teammates.
He's a liar.
And again, looking at Draymond's point that Jordan had, made teammates, made guys, is the ultimate irony. As looking at LeBron James, for his career, that's more so the case.
Thank you.
Dwayne Wade by 2011, 6-time All-Star, 5-time All-NBA, 3-time All-Defensive, 1-time scoring champion, and an NBA champion minus LeBron James in 06.
Yeah, that's what I call a made player. Now Dubosh.
That's a big-time thing nobody mentions. Look at someone like Chris Bosh in Toronto, the franchise cornerstone, and the guy for the Raptors. Bosh by 2011, a 5-time All-Star, and 1-time All-NBA.
Ooh, do Kevin Love.
Kyrie by 2015, a 2-time All-Star, Rookie of the Year, and All-Star Game MVP. Kevin Love,
Thank you.
3-time All-Star, 2-time All-NBA, 1-time rebound champ, and 2011, the most improved player in the NBA without LeBron James.
Yeah, that's what I call some made players. Should we continue? You want to do AD?
Then look at someone like Davis, a 6-time All-Star, 3-time All-NBA, 3-time All-Defensive, and 3-time block leader before joining LeBron James. Luka Doncic, eerily similar, 5-time All-Star, 5-time NBA first team, 1-time scoring champ, and the Rookie of the Year.
That's how bad this is. I forgot about Luka for a second here. Like, literally, who's had the made players? It's obviously LeBron. Like, this isn't even a conversation. Sometimes I feel like I'm going insane. Because, like, these are the worst arguments I've ever heard. Like, it's so the opposite. You're saying something about Jordan, but really, I think you meant to say it about LeBron, but Draymond confused. Draymond's confused. Name one player like this that Jordan teamed up with. You can't say Pippen. You can't say Horace Grant because, they were all drafted by the Bulls, so they started their careers. They were built there. Who are we going to say? Dennis Rodman is like the only one. Really, the one and only you can say is Dennis Rodman. And Dennis Rodman didn't have a home at that time. But if you want it, you can have it. That's one. One versus how many for LeBron? This argument is mute.
If you look at both Jordan and LeBron's careers, the guy who had ready-made teammates wasn't Michael Jordan. It was LeBron James at every single stop. That's the grand irony in all this.
It is.
He won 2 games in the NBA Finals with Delly.
Like Matthew Dellavedova. It's fucking terrible, but chase Stephen Curry around.
I got a lot of respect for Delly. Stick.
Hey, MJ won 3 championships with Judd Bushler. With Judd Bushler. I'm just kidding. Judd, shout out to you. I don't mean any disrespect. These guys are clowns. I don't want to play the same game that they're doing. Judd, you did a great job, man. I mean, garbage time was fun because of you.
I respect his game. Completely stinks. Like he can win with guys like that. Man, it's so hard to win in this league, bro. To win with guys like that. MJ wasn't winning with Matthew Dellavedova. like that. MJ wasn't winning with Matthew Dellavedova.
So stopping that video right there very quickly, when it comes to Draymond Green, his arguments, he's a massive hypocrite with numerous contradictions.
Look how serious he is, though. This is how you know he's getting paid. Like, it was just one question. It was just a simple question, and I think Chat asked it, like Jordan versus like LeBron, who wins? Look how heated he is, because he has to be. Like, that's gotta suck. Not that I feel bad, because he's taking a bunch of money for saying shit that he doesn't believe, from Clutch Sports. But like, anytime you got a camera on you and somebody asks a question about Jordan or LeBron, you got to be on your game. It's time to work, not like us, like casuals, where we can just have a conversation about it. He has to get the narrative in. So he has to beat down Jordan and elevate LeBron somehow. That's the pressure he has to live under. It's just dumb. Just be honest, man. Just be real. You got so much money anyways, you had a full, long, great NBA career. You made a lot of money. You don't need the clutch money, man. Just be authentic. We'd respect you so much more, Draymond.
When it comes to Draymond Green, his arguments, he's a massive hypocrite with numerous contradictions. As of course, in one breath, LeBron James elevates everyone unlike Jordan, but the next breath has trash teammates that are simply no good. You can't have both. Now, concerning the 2015 finals, looking at LeBron and Delly, Game 2 of that series, the first one for Cleveland, LeBron James, played very, very well for LeBron standards, Hall of Fame standards. But looking at this...
His field goals were trash. That was like maybe 30%, 29%, somewhere in there. But, okay, whatever. 39 points, 16 rebounds, 11 assists. That's great. 2 for 12, in the fourth quarter and overtime. How does this always happen? 2 for 12 in the fourth and overtime. It's the least clutch. So he was crushing the first 3 quarters, and then he disappeared like he always does. Incredible. He's the opposite of Eli Manning, because Eli Manning sucked the first 3 quarters, and in the fourth quarter he was God. But it's complete opposite.
Series. They lost in 6 games, they're up 2-1, and they lost the series. If you want to say LeBron James is the greatest, him winning 2 games versus the Warriors and losing the series isn't the route I'd take. And saying someone like Jordan, with a quote-unquote Delly-like teammate, couldn't win, also factually inaccurate. Look at Michael Jordan 89, Game 3 versus the Pistons in the East Finals. Michael Jordan in this game, 46 points, 7 boards, 5 assists, 5 steals, on above 60% shooting.
Yeah, look what he did in the fourth. 18 points in the fourth, and he was shooting way above 50%. I'll take that any day.
Michael Jordan in that game was fantastic start to finish, and the fourth quarter iced it with a game-winning jumper.
Size of these guys, they cut down the passing angles.
Pippen finds Jordan.
There it is.
Rodman is on him, one-on-one. 5 seconds to go. Jordan off the glass. Yes!
That Bulls team 89 had 1 All-Star player, that being Jordan, 1 All-NBA player, that being Jordan, and they weren't a top 5 seed in the Eastern Conference. And looking at Jordan's high-scoring teammates, 2nd place, you had Bill Cartwright. 3rd, John Paxson. 4th place, Pippen and Grant both at 7. And 6th place, Charles Davis with 6 points. That Bulls team, not a juggernaut. The Pistons, they were a juggernaut with multiple All-Stars and multiple Hall of Famers, and the eventual champions of the NBA. If you're going to give LeBron all this credit, all this praise for carrying teams and losing, for Michael Jordan's career, do the exact same thing. So that right there is the end of the video. As always, thank you guys for watching. Hope you enjoyed it.
I did.
I'll see you next time.
Yeah. First off, great video, uncut. If you're watching this, what's up, bro? Hope you're doing well. Yeah, like, you got to keep that same energy, right? So if we're gonna, if we can just cancel out like just simplify the whole thing, because this is how much Jordan is ahead of LeBron. So let's just cut through the BS. All right, they both led their teams. They both basically carried their teams and lost, right? There are examples of Jordan doing that early in his career. There's examples of LeBron doing that. early in his career as well, okay? Both carried their teams and lost in the playoffs. Whatever. Well, then who won more? MJ, 6 for 6 in the finals. Sorry. If we're going to play that game, that's how easy it is. So, don't come back and play again because the game's already over. It ended, Come back if he wins 7 championships or something like that total, and then we can have some kind of a conversation. But until then, I don't want to hear it. Because honestly, if he went six wins and say 6 wins and 6 losses in the finals, I would still take 6-0 any day of the week. So you better get 7 to make this some kind of a conversation. But that's how simple it is to me. Just keep the same energy. All right, well, MJ carried his teams a bunch of times too. Y'all just don't remember. All you remember is him winning. There were times where they lost, but it wasn't his fault. And in these cases, when we look at, I'm actually surprised Uncut didn't point out, maybe he did and I missed it, the 2 for 12 in the fourth quarter and overtime in that carry job game, so-called carry job. Well, who was carrying them in the fourth? It obviously wasn't him. So in those kind of scenarios, if you're gone in the fourth, you're completely absent and you're just hurting the team, you shoot 2 for 12 in the fourth quarter and overtime, you're actively hurting your team at that point. So what did you really accomplish there? You become the reason why the team lost. Now, if Jordan, on the other hand, he's carrying the team all 4 quarters, and in the fourth quarter, he's shooting lights out, hitting buzzer beaters, doing whatever he has to do, but his percentage is way above 50%. And he's still producing in all facets, especially in scoring. You can't point the finger and be like, it's your fault you lost. You know what I mean? He did everything he could. The team just wasn't good enough at that point. But yeah, LeBron just doesn't, you just can't say the same thing for LeBron, because usually, not every time, but I'd say 8 out of 10 games that they lose, he falls apart in the fourth quarter, and he's the reason why they lose. Even a lot of times when they win, he falls apart in the fourth quarter, but he teams up with a closer. Current closer is Luka Doncic, one of the greatest closers we've ever actually seen. AD, we had Kyrie was a big time closer. D Wade was a big time closer. So he knows what he's doing, because even though he'll never admit it, you see how LeGM is building these teams. Who he's teaming up with. He's always teaming up with somebody who can get it done in a clutch, because he knows that's not him. He'll never admit it. He'll pretend like it's all him doing it, but he's not stupid, okay? He may be the biggest narcissist we've ever seen in professional sports. His ego is so inflated. However, he's not dumb. He knows who to put himself together with, who can fill in the gaps and make him look better. And that's all I see. You shoot 2 for 12 in the fourth, somebody else can bail your ass out. If not, you say, oh, look at my stats. I got 30-something and 10 and 11. I did my job, And he's actually said that during the finals at press conference. I got a 30-point triple-double. I think I did my job. What kind of asshole does that to his team when everybody knows you collapse in the fourth quarter? Anyways, I am out of here. Guys, leave your comment. This was a spicy one. Draymond, man. Draymond kills me. How lucky you are that you found Steph Curry in your life. I am out of here. Guys, I can't wait to read your comments on this one. It should be a little dicey. So I'll see you in the comments. Guys, like the vid if you liked it. Subscribe to the channel if you want more content like this. If you want to support the channel, hit that subscribe plus button. And yeah. Be water, my friends.